We hear a lot about the new wave in Wi-Fi or cellular services, 5G. 4G was a big thing. Now 5G is supposed to be rolling out anytime soon. I suppose bigger, faster, stronger, who knows. But what are the concerns about that, and looking back at what we have now, what can we do?
That's a great question, and thank you. I'm concerned as well, but I'm not as concerned as many other people. I'll tell you why. 5G is already rolled out in many areas. No one's going to stop it. I was talking to someone yesterday who said, "Oh my gosh, we should have a class action lawsuit. We need to do," and I'm like, "What are you talking about? It's too late. It's already happened. You know, it has already happened. It's been rolled out all over the world. People are beginning to feel effects negatively. They're also beginning to feel the effects positively. They got a faster phone data, right? So the whole reason that 5G was rolled out was the fact that they wanted more data, you know? But there's a price. There's a price to pay when we want faster speeds, faster data, real time, right? Because they're already talking about 6G. Sure. I've already heard about it. I mean, we're not even rolled out 20% 5G. We're talking about 6G, right? Got to keep the investors happy. But the reality is this. I'm concerned, and what everyone should be concerned about is not the EMF field itself. It's the radiation component of that field. That's why a microwave has issues, right? It's the radiation that occurs when you're doing that. Well, there is a radiation component to EMF, Wi-Fi, cellular, that harms our cell membranes, our pineal gland. You know, one of the things it affects is right from wrong. I mean, that's interesting when we think about society. And so it is a concern. It is a concern. If you put 5G out mass and didn't have any reduction of the radiation, you've effectively increased the radiation throughout your country or city that you're in. And that is a concern for me. It's a concern that it changes cell membrane and that it changes pineal gland function, which is love of man, right from wrong, all these innate things that we count on in society for safety. So, luckily for me, years ago I met and I was introduced to an amazing young man, 27, well he's 24 at the time and now he's 27, who invented a product called Key Technologies. And I ended up negotiating with him exclusive rights to market that. And what it is a technology that combats 100% the radiation part of EMF, but we don't affect the field, the EMF field itself. So the speeds are the same, the routers work the same, the cell phones work the same, the towers work the same. We don't do anything to combat the field, and we definitely don't want a class action lawsuit to stop 5G. What we are doing is simply saying, hey, if you're concerned about the negative health risks with 5G, we have a product that will protect you or a 250 square foot area, a 3,000 square foot area, or a 30,000 square foot area. And we even have a unit that will work for animals outside. So we have a solution, and we now have multiple double-blind studies, placebo-controlled, showing and proving that we protect the individual 100% against the effects of radiation. So someone asked, well, what were they testing to show? And I said, you know, skin conductivity, heart rate variability, all different aspects, thorax expansion rates, all these different things from the Friedman test that will indicate to you if the person's in stress or not. So that's a huge study showing that when a fake Key Technology was in the room, no difference. All of those 7 indicators from the Friedman test, they were at a high risk, they were in high stress, okay? Put the Key Shield or put the product in the room, and now all of those things were back down to no risk. And so they did 3 groups of 15 volunteers to do a sham group, a absolute control group, and all these kind of things. In every single one of them, to quote them, they said there's statistically significant differences with and without the key technology. And people say, well, how is it working? Well, what we're doing is different from any other company in the world. Everyone else uses frequencies to harmonize these frequencies. And there is a benefit to that, but you're not going to affect the radiation. You might help the body function better, right? You know, but you're not affecting the radiation effects. The radiation effects will take place. It's not just about frequency. There's a radiation component, and you need to mitigate that. And so that's what we're doing. And the way key technologies work, it's a non-electric product. We create electricity inside the unit, but naturally. We have a proprietary water that Hagen developed using exclusion zone water and other aspects to it. But effectively, the unit is releasing electrons out into an environment. Now, the most important part of all this is not the electrons. It's the fact that we're creating a torus field, which gives, very similar to, we talked about gut bacteria having a home. We need those electrons to have a home, because otherwise they'll fall out of suspension. If we create a torus field, which we do, then we have a very stable environment for them to be in and to be happy and to be organized. So we have a key home cell, for instance, which will cover, 2,500 square feet or roughly that space. We create that torus field and we produce electrons. Within 24 hours of putting that in their home, the entire home is full of electrons. So those electrons get on your skin. They absorb in, very much like grounding. Just like going to the forest, the ocean, right? You have electrons. And so that's why people feel great going to the forest, is negative ions, which negative ions are made of electrons. So when you get the electrons on your skin and they'll absorb in and react with radicals and things, but they leave a protective layer on your skin because you have electrons. When the radiation is around you, it's reacting outside of the body now with the electrons on your skin instead of going into your cell membranes and into your body. Very simple technology, but never been done before. So the patent process is going on right now, but we've been selling for years, millions of dollars. And so we have people that are electrosensitive. Now these are people that are highly sensitive to the EM fields, highly sensitive to the radiation. You could be sitting in an outside restaurant and someone could be sitting next to you, and just the fact that you have a phone on a table, they can be having a headache and having a problem. Those kind of people we can help, and those are the fun ones or the nice ones to help because they really have a disrupted life. So literally we can put a device and it'll protect them, or they can have a device and it'll protect them from everything else. Some of my happiest moments are when people call up and will say, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I can now invite people over to my house. I can now go to my friends' homes. Before I could only let people in my house because my refrigerator's off, my television's off, my Wi-Fi router's off. Basically I've sequestered myself from society to be able to function. And I think that's sad, personally. Now they can invite people in with no worries, no issues. And it's very nice to have that. So, Hagen himself was living in Finland for years, 3 years, on his own, basically living on the land. When he came back into society, it was all the cell phones and the other stuff that happened that he was like, his body wasn't used to, and he had effects. So he wanted to create something that could protect people and himself. So it's a very beautiful technology, very simple, uses natural laws, right? Water. So it really truly is an amazing technology. There's nothing else in the world like it. And it's very exciting to be able to offer that solution to people that will help them. I don't know how long you've known Robert.
Number of years.
Yeah, so 13 years for me. And in that whole history, Nancy, his sweet wife, couldn't go anywhere, couldn't do anything because she had trigeminal pain from a dental surgery. And she was not able to do much. And about noon, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, typically she was heading to the bed to go rest. When we put the key technology in their home, within the first day, she was like, I don't need a nap. and she came into Robert's studio looking for something to do, right? What am I going to do? I got energy, right? Within 2 weeks of having key technologies in our home, we were on a double date. First time in our friendship that we could go out and have a double date. And now we're all the time, doing stuff. And so he lives 12 minutes away from, we moved, our families across country, and then said we're not going to be more than 10 or 15 minutes apart so we could hang out, right? Because we like each other. So, and our wives are friends, all this kind of stuff. So the reality is significant difference for her within the first day. And it's interesting because we're learning that some people that have dental surgeries that maybe still have an exposure to the nerves, EM fields and that radiation can have access to them in a different way than you and I who have not had that kind of surgery. So we're learning, we're understanding, we're trying to do, but it's all in an effort to serve people and to help them be able to live a fulfilling life without having to hide. We want to facilitate increasing technology. We want to increase technology. We want to continue. I like having a phone that gives me what I want right when I ask for it, right? Everyone does. But I don't want the negative effects that could come with it to affect society, right? And have crazy people created, We want to help people stay wonderful and loving and kind and knowing what's right and wrong and all these kind of things and not having challenges with their cell membranes, which is the most important part of a body. So that's what we do. Like I said, we have the 4 units, and the units will last around 8 years on their own. You don't plug them in. They last roughly 8 years. On the 2 mobile units, you would just replace them. On the 2 bigger units, the Key Home Cell and the Key Max, we have a recharge service that they just ship it to us and we do it and then ship it. They pay for the shipping and that's all they pay for. So it's pretty good that you can end up getting 16 years of benefits. It's a long time. We'll have 20G by then, right? We'll be frying everybody. People will be spontaneously combusting when they walk outside. But like I said, it really is an honor for me. I wasn't my mission to create that product, but I feel like it's a part of me, and I'm honored to be able to introduce that to the world. Hagen is the brilliant individual and one of my closest friends in the world, him and Robert, really. So he's brilliant and had inspiration and help from beyond this earth to create this product. This is not a product that man could make. People still don't understand how it works. It's an amazing product and it works perfect. And every single study, TUV from Europe has now certified it. They tested the fields, they tested all the stuff, and it's now certified through TUV. I mean, every single study been done is exactly what was said it would do. And so we have a physicist now in London that has joined the team and is saying, holy cow, I've never seen anything like this. I didn't even know it was possible. And he's a world-renowned physicist, and now he's leading all these studies and coordinating them to make sure they're bulletproof so that no one can say, oh, you didn't do this and you didn't do that and you didn't have a proper challenge group. And so he's made sure that all that stuff is perfect, because the last thing we want to have happen is someone to have any excuse why they can't be helped, So that's the key technology to protect against 5G. And I think it's critical that people do, whether they feel it or not, they are being affected.